Hello, my name is Priscilla. So basically on my channel I'm going to be talking more so about misconceptions that people have when it comes to having a walk with God. I really wanted to share a background first of myself and to share a bit of my testimony before I start making more videos. All the content that you'll see will be mostly of like podcasts, devotionals, vloggings of like trips. I am a foodie. I really am. I'm a foodie. I already have actually a video of a missions trip that I went on in Mexico. I'm gonna go ahead and share a bit of like my story. And one thing I could definitely say too is like don't ever belittle like your testimony. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a background. Like everybody's been through something. So I am from Naples, Florida. My parents got divorced, I would say, when I was 6 years old or 7 years old. During that time when my parents were getting divorced, my dad had taken me in and we were moving from house to house, like family members of family members' house, and then it came to the point where we had moved to Orlando. We were living with my cousin and my aunt at the time, and I guess during the time that my parents were splitting up, they were trying to fill their own voids. So my mom, I honestly didn't see her quite often. I didn't speak to her. She had got pregnant and she had my 2 other siblings, and so she had like a whole new life, and then my dad was like trying to fill his own voids, and he would start to go clubbing and stuff like that. And so at the age of like 7 years old, I basically had to grow up quicker than most kids did. Even though I still love to go outside, I would play kickball, basketball, and being a kid. And after time, honestly, like I can say that I started to grow bitter. I started to build anger up inside of me. I honestly like felt left out. I felt abandoned. I felt like the oddball when it came to being around other kids. And it was hard. Like it was pretty tough because I remember living with my aunt and stuff. I have my god brother, and honestly, like she never made me feel left out. Like she treated me like her daughter, but it definitely just felt different because like that's my aunt, that's not my mom. And seeing the way how she was with my god brother, which is her son, it like you can feel the difference. Like you can kind of feel the energy a little bit. I don't know if it was just me, but you can just feel the difference. And so again, like feeling alone and feeling like where's my mom, where's my dad at, it was different. And like my dad was there, do not get me wrong, like he's an amazing father, like he's so great, but it was just during that time, again, like I understand now, like I was able to grow understanding towards the situation and how he was feeling and how people react differently and from like how you might react. And for him it was clubbing, it was going out, it was drinking, and hanging out with like my cousins and stuff like that. Like it was different, my older cousins. And again, so growing up, like it was challenging because I was also the only kid, like between my parents, between my mom and dad. I was the only kid growing up with them. Fast forward, so middle school, high school, I ended up having to live with my cousin because my dad moved out of county, but I wanted to finish my school years at the middle school I was attending and the high school that I was attending, because in elementary school, I went to 5 different elementary schools. 5. Yeah, so it was like I was tired of moving around. So I stayed with my aunt and my cousin so that I can finish the school year at the school that I wanted to attend. In middle school, I was living with a friend because my cousin had to move elsewhere because her lease was up. And so I was living with a friend to finish my middle school year off, and she was a Christian and she was attending church. And every Thursday she was actually getting picked up by the ministry's bus, and I guess like they would go around into like different neighborhoods and like pick up students to take to church and to like bring back to their house and stuff like that for those who didn't have a ride. And she was one of those students, and I didn't know that when I like moved in with her. And so she would, every Thursday she would get picked up by the bus and she would invite me to attend a service with her, just because like I would vent to her and I would tell her like how I was feeling, what I was going through, and all these things. And she would invite me to church every Thursday, but like I wouldn't attend service because I was just like, no, thank you. And I would hang out with other friends and stuff like that meanwhile, and until she got home. And there was like this one Thursday where she invited me, and I was just like, you know what, she's been pretty persistent, I might as well go with her. Like, what do I got, like, honestly. And so then I go, and there's all these people like greeting me and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, this is not my cup of tea. I don't know why I'm even here, honestly. But then like we go in and I'm hanging out with her and stuff like that until service starts, and then service happens, and the message was just amazing. Like, it was honestly, I don't know, like it was pretty powerful, because all I remember is like him saying basically like what I needed to hear, because like I was going through depression, I was going through a season where I felt alone. I felt like nobody wanted me. I didn't know why I was even here, because like, what the heck, like both of my parents aren't around. And he was just basically like talking about how like Jesus is around you, like he's holding you, he's near you even when you don't think that he's near. You might be in a season where it seems like you're in the middle of chaos and stuff like that. And like he was just going in, and I was just like, here. And then after the service ended, worship started back up, and I just remember like bawling, like I was on my knees crying. And honestly, like it was something I've never felt before, and honestly it was different. Like, it was a different atmosphere, the energy was different. And I remember I was specifically crying for my dad, and I was praying that he would feel the way that I was feeling at that moment, and like that he would feel love, and that those voids will be filled and stuff like that. And it's crazy because through that part of my testimony, it was like that whole entire time, it was as if like it was planned. And I know that now, that it was all planned. It was the way how I see it and I think of it, like literally like God set me up in that way, in that direction, to bring me to him. And it was just so cool. Like, it's just mind-blowing, because even though like in the middle of the chaos that like he's working, like he's moving. And my pastor literally was just preaching about being still stuck, and how sometimes when you're stuck you need to stay still so that you're able to see what's going on, the way around, like what's around you and stuff. And like I feel like during that time, like I was losing people. I was falling into depression at such a young age at that. And so it was honestly just really cool, like now that like I'm able to go back and like see what like was going on. It's just mind-blowing to me. I was listening to worship earlier today, and one song that has definitely stuck with me today would be One Thing Remains by Jesus Culture. Basically the lyrics, they go, and one thing remains, your love never fails, and it never gives up on me. I feel like now I'm more comfortable with sharing my stories, just because I found growth within them, and this is literally just one of like the many stories that I have, because I am a person. I do go through things, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I don't think anybody is perfect. Except for Jesus. I don't want to put on this whole facade and make it seem as if I am trying to be this perfect Christian female and Proverbs 31. Like, no, like, that's not. If anything, my life was more like Job. Let's be real. I really hope that my YouTube channel becomes encouraging and motivating and inspiring to many people. Yeah, so like I used to be like pretty closed off, and when it came to like trusting God, it was like, hold up, hold up, hold up. Yeah, no. It was pretty hard because, again, like everything that like I've gone through, it was like I have to let you in, like I have to like let you know me, even though you already know me, but like I have to like speak to you and like tell you like my feelings, like you already know my heart. But like it was, I guess, he can't change you, or he can't like renew you if you don't let him in. So like, yes, like you can know me, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna let you in. And so like it's hard if you're trying to help me out with something but I'm not letting you, basically. And so it was basically like that. Shout out to Jim Mariah for pushing me to make this channel, because I was really discouraged, not gonna lie, I was. But she helped push me to make this channel, and she motivated me and basically told me not to worry about what other people may think or say. And shout out to Will, Trey, Ro. Shout out also to Lorraine for helping me out with what my video should have and the content. But if you guys have any ideas, please, please, please share down below. Share your thoughts, opinions. Let me know what you guys think that I should possibly talk about next. Also, please feel free to like and subscribe.